Hey guys, and welcome. So it has been 3 days since I shaved off my beard and just went down to mustache. I've done one shave in between, and in between that shave and now we had a mustache contest at work, and I actually won best overall mustache, so I'm pretty happy about that. I'm happy with how this thing turned out. After my last video I ended up trimming it up a little bit just to make it a little bit more even, and I was happy with how this is. So it's been 2 days since that last trim here, so I have 2 days of facial hair growth here on my cheeks and neck, and it's time to shave and take this mustache off. I do like it, but in my line of work it's just not necessarily the most professional thing. This looks a little bit ridiculous, and aside from that my wife just absolutely hates this thing, so it is time for it to go. So in today's video I'm going to be doing a full shave, including taking off the mustache. So for today's razor I'm going to be using the RazoRock Hawk. I got this razor just maybe like 2 weeks ago, something like that. I haven't used it that much yet, but you know, I have a lot of razors out there that I really haven't committed enough time to really get a good feeling for the razor. So my plan is to kind of stick with a razor and a brush for a little while so I can really get a good feeling for that brush and that razor, and then do a review of it. So right now I'm sticking with the RazoRock Hawk, and this has a Kai, I have them right here, a Kai blade in here, the Captain Titan Mild Pink in there, and this is going to be the third shave on this blade. These blades, like I mentioned before, are pretty expensive. They're about $1 a piece, but it is thicker steel. I've heard that these blades last much longer than normal safety razor blades because they are thicker. People say that they get somewhere around 10 to 20 shaves out of blades, so we'll see how this blade holds up. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started with today's shave. For my shaving soap, I'm using the L&L Grooming TSM Fougere. So they made this fougere in collaboration with Chantilly Luxe, and for the shave market, that's TSM, and it's a fougere scent. This is absolutely my favorite fougere, no question about it. Such an incredible scent to it, amazing. And on top of it, the L&L Grooming, this is their Bison Tallow shaving soap, and it's incredible. The performance is just, it's really blown me away. It's really hard to beat this performance out there. It's absolutely among top performing soaps I have ever used. So that's the soap I'm using. It was blooming while I was in the shower. Just added some hot tap water here on top of the puck. Gonna go ahead and add this to my face. Looks good. Clean off my hand here. Get a little bit of alum on my hand. I always keep a little puck of alum next to the sink here. I can just dip my fingers in. It gives you a better grip on your brush and your razor. And once again, for today's shave, I'm going with the RazoRock 24mm Finest Badger Hair Brush. You can see it here. Very beautiful brush, very soft tips, really nice brush. I haven't used it too much, but I'm going to be sitting with this brush for a while so I can get a good feeling of its performance. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and load up. And one thing I've noticed with these L&L Bison Tallow soaps, they're a little bit softer, so I don't have to load up a ton. I was going through a lot of this product at first because I was just loading up like crazy. I'm really not jamming the brush in there, just kind of keeping the tips on the top of the puck here. Alright, plenty loaded. Go ahead and clean off the top of the puck. It's already a beautiful lather actually that's made. This stuff lathers up instantly. Clean off the puck. I do this every shave and set the puck here upside down so it can start drying out. Help preserve the soap. You don't want extra water sitting on your soap puck. So I don't recommend setting your soaps like this to dry. I put them upside down so the water can drip off the puck. Alright, we'll go ahead and get started with the face lather. Sometimes it's hard in the video to convey the quality of a lather, but this lather is amazing. Really thick, has a beautiful sheen to it. It's just amazing, and this whipped up immediately. It's extremely easy to lather. Very happy with that. Alright, go ahead and get started here. First pass, like I mentioned before, this is the RazoRock Hawk. It comes in two colors, either chrome or this black, and people are calling this one the Black Hawk. And there's no difference between the razors except the color. Go ahead and get started here. I think I'm going to start with the mustache, just right down the center and get this thing off. Alright, that was pretty easy. Oh, got hair there in my mouth. Alright. It worked well, but not as well as a straight razor. Straight razors, they just don't get bound up because you don't have that safety bar on there that the hair and the lather get caught in between. So with a straight razor, you can just kind of keep going even when the hair builds up. But this one, like with any safety or single-edged razor like this, it just gets a little bit caught up in there, so it slows down as you start to remove more hair and lather. But it did a great job. Alright, and continue on here with the first pass with the grain. Very light pressure. These blades, I've noticed, are quite sharp. These are the mild blades, and they're pretty sharp, so using light pressure is key. Alright, great first pass. That feels amazing. It's the first time I've seen my clean shaven face in over a month. It's pretty weird seeing no facial hair on there. That's a really comfortable first pass. These blades, you definitely have to use light pressure, and they just handle a little bit differently than safety razor blades. And it's hard to explain, but with the thicker steel on there, they're just, it feels like it's a thicker steel. The blade's not as flexible. I don't feel like it's quite as forgiving as a safety razor, but it's still really nice to use, and it's a wider blade. It took a little bit of getting used to it first, but now it's really not a big deal at all. It's kind of nice actually having a wider blade on there. Alright, second pass, cross grain. Need to put on some lather. Totally forgot. Alright. Alright, second pass, cross grain this direction. Alright, second pass. This is feeling really close here. I'm very happy with where this is at. I did nick myself once here, and it's going over my neck here. I'm using extremely light pressure. I do have very sensitive skin. That's what got me into wet shaving in the first place. I was feeling a little burning with the passes here. You can see there's a little bit of redness on both sides here. I was barely using any pressure there. But whenever I feel that, that's a signal to me that I'm going to quit shaving in these areas. So I'm leaving my neck where it is. It's close enough. And I'm just going to shave up here. I do want to do a little bit of a cleanup here. Mostly my mustache area. Alright, third lather. I'm still going to apply the lather to my neck here. It helps to lock in hydration when you're shaving the rest of your face so it doesn't get dried out. Alright, third pass, cross grain this direction. I think you can see a little bit of blood here coming through the lather. That's where I nicked myself in the previous pass. few tiny drops of blood down here on my neck too. Alright, I'm gonna stop there. Let me make sure. I gotta get some hairs right here. Alright, I'm just making sure there's nothing else here that I missed before I get cleaned up. Yeah, that feels good. I'm gonna go ahead and get cleaned up now. Alright, so feeling back here. The shave feels great. It's nice and close. I'm very happy with the closeness of the shave. In terms of comfort, it was not the most comfortable shave, to be totally honest with you guys. There's a fair amount of redness down here. There's a few little drops of blood here, one here. Got my face right here. I don't really know what to attribute that to. Part of it could be the fact that I have not been shaving regularly, obviously with the beard on there. You know, my skin, I really do have to build up resistance. It took me a while to start shaving every day, honestly. Even when I started wet shaving, I could only shave every other day because my skin was so sensitive. I had to work in shaving every day, and I was just doing very, very light shaves every single day until my skin just built up the hardiness to be able to withstand shaving every day. And I think I may have lost some of that when I was growing out my beard. So it's something I'm going to have to work up to. It's also this razor. It's not necessarily the Razor Rock Hawk, but these single-edge razors. It's really the razor blade in there. They're a little bit... they're not as forgiving, like I mentioned, as the safety razor blades. It's a thicker steel, and I just felt like before when I've used this, I haven't felt like I was getting a bite from the blade. It felt sharp, but I wasn't getting a kind of like a bitiness to the edge. You know, it wasn't really grabbing my skin. The sharpness was really directed towards cutting the hairs off. But with this shave, I felt like it was really dragging and pulling on my skin. It was honestly not too comfortable to shave. I'm a little bit bummed about that, but it's still a close shave and a good shave, but I'm hoping I'm not going to be getting any ingrown hairs here or razor burn. I could definitely get some razor burn here on my neck. I'm just really glad I stopped when I did. I think that's a really important part. You know, if you're experimenting with different shaving equipment or with a straight razor or a new safety razor, if you're a new guy out there and using a safety razor for the first time, take it easy. Very light pressure, and that's what I was using there. But then you also have to know when to call it quits. I just don't think it's worth just having a full neck of ingrown hairs or razor burn just to get a good shave. I knew when I started getting some tugging here, and so that's when I called it, and I just left it at this. It's still close here. I mean, no one would be able to tell except for me. That's just not that super closeness that I like here on my neck. But I'm happy with where that's at, so I'm leaving it there. All right. Aftershave tape. I haven't used this in a while. This is one of my favorites for a really long time. This is Sharp Dressed Man by Sterling. This is their old packaging here. See it? Awesome scent on this stuff. I've got maybe a third of the bottle left in there, but it's really great stuff. And this is alcohol based, which I do like, and really it's important to use for me an alcohol based aftershave. After I think I get some razor burn, it really works nicely as an astringent to help clean out the pores there. So in my experience, it helps decrease razor burn. So like I said, it has alcohol, witch hazel, which is great for your skin, fragrance oil, aloe, glycerin, and hydrovant. So really good ingredient list. I like aloe and glycerin. Those are great things for your skin. Hydrovant, not 100% sure what that is. I have to look it up. I think it's an additive to kind of help to help all the things in here to come into a solution together. But I'll have to look that up. So anyway, oh yeah, fantastic scent. Go ahead here and add some on. This is going to burn because of the alcohol. Oof. Yeah, that had a decent amount of burn to it. Oof, that really burned on my neck. I'm going to put a little bit more on just to make sure that I got everything covered here. Yeah. Whew, that alcohol sent me. I just breathed in, got to me. All right. Anyway, I'm really happy with that. Sorry about my dog barking out there, but you know, I'm going to see how this shave works. I'm going to really take this feedback. I'm going to switch to a new blade in here for the next shave. It could be the razor blade, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm going to go ahead and switch out blades. Just make sure that that's not it, but I'm not giving up on the Hawk. I'm going to stick with it I'm going to shave with at least another week or two with this thing to really get my final impressions on this, and then I'll do a review of it. So that's my plan. If there's any soaps you want to see in the meantime, please let me know. As always, thanks for watching.